Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks Wargaming and welcome to our latest 40k battle report. Today, the aliens that are the Tau have made planetfall on a very remote star system, and this planet is already overrun and infested with Orks. The Tau can hear the Orks warring and drums beating in the distance. They're about to enter the city, and these Tau are going to try and see them off. So today's mission we are doing Purge the Alien. So it's just victory points in play today. Who will come out on top? Will it be the Orks or will it be the Tau? Let's go take a look at the armies.
Hey guys, so here's my 1750 points worth of Tau. We've got a commander in an Iridium battle suit with a fusion blaster and a cyclic ion raker. He's got a drone controller and he's joined by two MacLeod drones. He's also going to be embedded into a squad of crisis suits that all have plasma rifles on both arms, and one has a fusion blaster as well, and they're joined by a shield drone. I've got another squad of crisis suits, which is a bit of a combination of different weapon types. So a little bit of everything on there. They've all got missile pods and then various different bits and pieces. I've got a squad of fire warriors and a Cadre Fireblade, and they're going to be going around in a Devilfish with a Seeker missile and a burst cannon. And then we've got a small fire warrior squad here and another small fire warrior squad just there. And then we've got a heavy support cadre, which has got the Riptide with the heavy burst cannon, and we've got two broadsides, both with a pair of drones. One has the smart missile system, one has the plasma rifles. And then we've got an optimised stealth cadre, which has got the ghost keel, and then two squads of 4 stealth suits, and they've got a MacLeod drone embedded in each of those squads. So there you go, there's my 1750 points worth of Tau.
HQ and Warlord for my Orks today. I'm taking Grok Face Ripper, so this guy comes with a power core and a custom shooter, so he is pretty much stock. Over to troops, I'm taking a 12-boy squad. In here there is a knob with a power claw and a big shooter, and they'll be in their truck. Exactly the same loadout for the next boys squad. All of these have been upgraded to Ard boys. Third troop choice, I'm taking a shooter boys squad. Into elites, I'm taking a squad of flash gits, and they will be running around in an open top battle wagon. Second elite choices, I'm taking a knob squad. In here there are 2 big choppers and a power claw. And then into heavy support, I am taking a battle wagon with a zap gun and 3 big shooters. This is what the shooter boys will be in. And because it's a bit of fun, I am taking something that I don't take very often, to be honest, and probably should take a little bit more. I am taking my Stompa, and the Knobs and Grok Face Ripper will be riding around in this today. So this is my Orks force that will be taking on the evil Tau. The first of the broadsides is down on the left-hand side of the battlefield in what is part of Nolde Manufactorum complex. Lots of firepower on this side. He's got his missile drones as well. Next to him is everybody's favourite Riptide, and there is a Fire Warrior squad in front of them. And again, on top of another old Manufactorum building, we have the next of the broadsides, again with missile drones. Next to them, we have crisis suits ready to use their jetpacks and get across the battlefield easily, with a Piranha, a Hammerhead, a Devilfish and another Fire Warrior squad making up the right hand flank. This flank's slightly weaker, which is why the Orks have 0 deployed in front of the Riptide and all of the broadsides. There is nothing at all here. The first thing that the Tau will come across is the monstrosity that is the Ork Stompa. The Ork Stompa is being used as a mobile shield for the first of the trucks, and also the battle wagons with the flash gits in, and then literally on the left hand flank is the second battle wagon and the second truck. We're very heavy on the left hand side of the battlefield. The idea is take the Stompa up and forward, and let's try and kill off the Tau. So it is the Tau to go first, unless the Orks can seize, which they do not.
So given the limited amount of targets available on this half of the board, the Riptide has made its way up to the top of the building up there, which gives it full command of the battlefield to be able to shoot at whatever it likes, which will clearly be the Stompa. The Hammerhead's got a neat sight line straight through the middle of those buildings into the front of the battle wagon, so no real reason to move that. Fire Warrior Squad has made their way forward and up onto the landing pad. And there's a little bit of shuffling around with some of the troops at the back of the board down here, and the Piranha's also starting its run forwards, being very careful to keep itself out of line of sight. So a fairly quiet round of shooting there from the Tau. The Hammerhead failed to penetrate the battle wagon, and the combined assault of the Riptide and the two broadsides took 5 hull points off the Stompa, so that's pretty good, I suppose, but still a lot of stuff on the board. It's not a great start. I used my assault moves to get the Riptide away from the potential repercussions of the Stompa, so it's hiding behind the back of the building there. And I also used it to move my first Crisis Suit squad just a little way around the building. And that's all there is for our shooting this turn.
The Orks are on the march. The first of the trucks has moved up 12 inches. The battle wagon has only moved up 6. The flash kits are looking at shooting. I'm not sure what they can see. Maybe the Fire Warrior Squad on top of the landing platform. The Stompa has smashed his way through the ruins of the buildings. He's now gone 12, looking at laying lots and lots and lots of fire down on these squishy Tau. The battle wagon with the shooter boys in has moved up 6. And then the second truck has also moved up 12. So shot from the zap gun down there. Maybe the flash gets up onto the landing platform. And then the Stompa doing whatever a Stompa does best. Hopefully killing stuff off. The flash gits inside the battle wagon opened up with their snaz guns. We hit and hit hard. We killed off 4 of the Fire Warriors on top of the landing platform. The remaining 2 failed their morale check and are down 4 inches off the platform. They are running. I don't blame them, really. They've just taken an absolute load of shells to the face. The Stompa opened up with its death cannon, hitting on top of the broadside, but with his invuln saves, with his stupid little drones, he survived. The blast did catch one of the crisis suits down here, which we killed a drone. Yay, that's some good shooting from the Orc Stompa. I have opened up with a big shooter from the Stompa at the Hammerhead down there, just in case it's within charge range. I am going to measure it up. I think it's 13, so I think it's just out.
So the Riptide is once again mounting the building, again looking to shoot away at the Stompa. Fire Warrior Squad down the bottom there have moved around the building. The Crisis Suits are in the centre. They appear to be doing some kind of impression of the Beatles crossing the road there, which is interesting. It's nice to know that 1960s culture has finally made it to the Tau homeworld. Suicide Piranha is go. I've put it there with options to either go after the truck or after the Stompa if it's still alive. Down at the back of the battlefield, we've got the Commander and his squad arriving via Deep Strike. It's pretty close to the edge of the table here, but I knew that the Warlord wouldn't scatter thanks to his Warlord trait. And I've got 1 out of 2 Stealth Suit squads and my Ghost Keel in as well, and they are all kind of surrounding the back of the Orc army, giving them something else to think about. Down in the far corner, the Devilfish has moved around, going to shoot underneath the landing pad at the Orc vehicles down here. Being careful not to shoot the Fire Warriors who are still running away. They didn't pass their morale, unfortunately.
As you can see in the centre there as well, the hammerhead's backed up a little bit. That's still on the table. We did check the charge range out last turn and it was 13 inches, so there was no charge. So I've backed away just to try and open up that range again and hope for the best, but fingers crossed we might deal with that this turn, all being well. So the mission to destroy the Stompa was a success. However, it did pretty much consume all of my army's firepower to do it. But it's gone boom. And the occupants, 3 of the guys died as a result of the explosion itself. And then the remainder, they're running back away, having failed their morale check. I've used the optimized stealth cadre to pop the battle wagon. And then we've used our assault moves to, for one, move the OSC away from the contents of that battle wagon. And then also the command squad has moved away from the Ork warlord that's coming down this way. However, emboldened by the destruction of the Stompa, the other crisis suits have made an assault move forwards. The Riptide has decided to come out to play a little bit more now that he feels there's less of a threat. So he's moved down onto the centre of the battlefield. My Devilfish over the back fired underneath the launch pad and failed to penetrate the truck with its burst cannons, but did eventually penetrate the armour with the Seeker missile on there. It's down a couple of hull points. It's been immobilised.
The Tau are about to reap the whirlwind that they've put into place. The war boss has rallied. His troops have come out of the truck that has reversed back. They are looking at going into the crisis suits right on the back line that use their jetpack move to get out of the way. They've got Orky boys about to run in and hit them in combat after we open up, shooting at them. The Ghost Keel is literally surrounded. The battle wagon has moved round, dropped off the shooter boys. They're going to shoot, they're going to assault. The flash gits are going to open up as well. Hopefully a low roll on their AP weapon, maybe an AP1, that would be nice, and do some damage here. But right behind them, out of the immobilised truck, the boys are there just around the corner. I'm hoping to get them all into combat, and we should hopefully have one dead Ghost Keel, maybe one dead crisis suit squad. The Ork boys and the big shooter off the truck open up at the crisis battle suits. No damage done. We are going to go into combat down here. They're also opened up at by the Knob and the war boss. Again, no damage done. So then over to the Ghost Keel and the stealth suits. They're opened up at by the flash gits. Onto the stealth squad. I killed a drone. Well done, boys. That was good shooting. I rolled a 6 from AP value. Nightmare. The shooter boys and the other squad of boys back there opened up at the Ghost Keel. And I think John took about 6-7 wounds, something like that. Saved them all with his 2-ups. So it's over to assault. Can we actually make it? Can we actually kill something other than a drone? The boys made it into combat with the commander and the crisis suit. We killed off 3 drones, 1 crisis suit, and put a wound on the commander for the loss of about 3 boys. So we are going to go another round of combat down here. I'm hoping that we do them next turn. That'll be quite nice. Kill these guys off. Get Slay the Warlord. That'll be lovely. Down here, and I still think this is probably the funniest thing to happen all game, is the Flash Gits made it into combat with the stealth squads, killing them all off. Flash Gits are good in combat. Who knew? But I have lost 1 of my Flash Gits in the process, which is, a little bit painful. Down here on the Ghost Kill, the shooter boys obviously made it into combat, killed a drone, no wounds done to the Ghost Kill, and 1 of my boys was pulled down. There is an angry mob of boys just around the corner of the building that will be joining in over here. So I am planning on killing the Ghost Kill, I'm planning on killing the commander, and I am planning on killing the crisis suits.
So the crisis suits in the centre have moved forward, looking to get an angle on the back of that truck. Maybe mop up whatever happens down here with the commander. See what happens later on. Broadside's shuffled down the building a bit because he's got a cheeky line of sight on the back of that truck as well. So we'll use that to our advantage. My other broadside has also shuffled around the building a little bit, so he's got some options there for shooting. I'm looking at you, Mr. Ork Warboss. It's a little harsh to shoot him in the back. And if that doesn't quite work out, then I've also got a piranha that's hovering around there. Suicide piranha is amazed that it's still alive. So yeah, why not? Another suicidal charge. The Riptide's shuffled around the building as well a little bit. That gives him options to fire at the battle wagon there in the centre. And the Hammerhead stayed put because he's already got line of sight on there. And the same story for the Devilfish, who will continue to shoot away at the truck, which is obscured by the landing pad just down there. The two Fire Warriors couldn't get it together, and they ran off and have left the game. So the Devilfish took a hull point off the truck underneath the landing pad, and my Hammerhead fired at the battle wagon, but did penetrate and took a hull point. The Riptide fired away, did get one penetrating hit, but the intervening cover protected that, so it's just lost one single hull point. The Piranha fired up at the Ork command squad, and one of his boys valiantly took the bullet for him, and so he died. And then the broadside up here took a shot and took a wound off him, so he's down to one wound. In the centre of the board, the Crisis squad opened up at the back of the truck, and that's a write-off. That is now out of hull points. So that's not a bad round of shooting all in, I suppose. So the ferocious hand-to-hand continues down here in the centre of the battlefield. My Warlord has taken another wound and lost one of his gang. One of the other Crisis suits has fallen to the ferocious Orks, having lost 2 in number themselves. So another round of lost combat for the Tau, but fortunately another successful leadership role keeps that one running along. And then the Ghost Keel is also still struggling along in combat. He's lost a wound this turn.
So the War Boss joined in the combat with the boys and the Crisis suits and the Commander, and we killed them all off. I did lose 2 more Orc boys, so we're down to 2, but the War Boss has joined them. War Boss is down to 1 wound as well. That's quite painful down here, but they're dead. I got to slow the Warlord out of that, so that's good. They've consolidated up 5 inches and now back in the ruins of the building. The Ghost Keel, the Flash Gits, and the other squad of boys joined into combat, and the Ghost Keel is no more. The one remaining drone and the Ghost Keel himself will pull down 22 wounds just off the 2 boys squads. And he died, and died painfully. So these guys are now all on the march across to the middle of the battlefield and need to claim some more victory points. We do have the Piranha. We do have the next squad of Crisis suits.
So the Crisis suits down here managed to kill the Warlord and the squad he was in. So that's a nice tasty 3 victory points there in one foul swoop. But Piranha killed off one of the Flash Kits, just leaving this cool guy with the amazing pirate hat left on the table. My Riptide and my Hammerhead tried desperately to destroy the battle wagon, but only managed to take a single hull point off it. However, the ongoing fight between the Devilfish and the battle wagon the truck rather, has finally been resolved with the death of the truck. And in other news, my stealth squad is on automatically this turn, and hasn't really done anything because they've got line of sight or anything, unfortunately, but I'm sure they'll get involved in just a little while later on.
The rallied Flash Git. He's now basically the War Boss of this army. He's like, you following me, boys. He's going to go into the back of the Piranha, going to try and take that out. The Shooter boys have all lined up. They're looking at shooting at the Crisis suits at the back of the battlefield around here. Maybe do some damage? I don't know on that one. The Battle Wagon might have to take some shots at the Riptide that's cheekily holding on to the centre ground of the battlefield. The Stealth suits have just appeared. They'll attempt to charge. Well, I'm going to shoot them and then attempt to charge them with the boys down here. Now, it is an 11-inch charge because of Here We Go. I get to re-roll it, so you never know your luck. The Flash Git opened up at the back of the Piranha. Out of his 3 shots, I hit once, and I penned on a 6. I then have to roll his AP value. I rolled a 1. I then rolled on the damage table and rolled a 5. So it went boom. I'm quite happy to see that thing go boom, to be quite honest. The Shooter boys opened up at the Crisis suits, doing 1 wound. Some good saving from John down here. The Battle Wagon opened up with the Zap guns and the big shooters at the Riptide. 0 damage, 2 up save. Man, that thing's annoying. We all love it, don't we? Yep, we really do. Over here, the stealth suit squad opened up. No damage done. I went to go into combat. It's an 11-inch charge. Overwatch. John hit 4 times, killed 4. 13-inch charge. Can't make it. Not going to do it. 4 dead. Damn, that hurt.
So the battle wagon has suffered another hull point at the hands of the hammerhead, thanks to another glance, but it still annoyingly clings on to life. The flash kit, however, does not. The crisis suits down here killed him off relatively easily. And most of the squad down here, most of the boys here have also been mullered by the Riptide. But there's still a few there kicking around. They need to take a morale check or they're going to be running away.
Could this be a glorious end to the battle? The battle wagon and the shooter boys all opened up at the Riptide, doing, I think, like 1 wound. And then the shooter boys went into combat and pulled him down. He is gone. He is dead. Just the amount of attacks, even from just 5 boys, just enough to kill him. So he's gone. So, Jonathan, do we get a turn 6? Yes, we do.
So in the end, that wasn't the heroic finish to the battle at all, because thanks to that extra turn, the stealth suits at the top there killed a couple of the orc boys down here. Then the broadside opened up, but believe it or not, failed to wound. The crisis suits down here managed to kill the last of the boys in that squad, so they got wiped out. And the hammerhead opened up at the battle wagon and finally removed the last hull point, so that has been destroyed. So that means there are no orcs left. The Tau have managed to claim this planet for the greater good and remove the orc filth and infestation from the planet.
Okay then guys, just going to do the post-game review. That was a good game to take part in. It's not very often I take my Stompers out in a battle report, and I decided I don't use them anywhere near enough, so I decided to bring a Stomper along. I have 2 of them. I think I've used both of them in a battle report once, and it's one of our very early battle reports at Warhammer World. They do not get enough action, and they're not as hard as I remember. They're not at all. I think it's probably because I'm facing Tau and all the dirty Tau shooting shenanigans that goes on with them. But it did kill a crisis suit and a drone before it went boom, and then killed more of my own men than it did yours. But I don't care. It's a Stomper. It's cool. My only issue is with the Stomper, it's 770 points. They are stupidly expensive. They are almost double the price of an Imperial Knight. I don't know why. They should be reduced in points now. They really should. But I love them. I love my Stompers. The rest of the Orks and how did they perform? Actually, not too bad. Took out Ghost kill, took out Crisis Squad, killed off your normal Orc boys, killed off your commander. That's the thing. Get Orks in combat and they will kill you. It took them a couple of turns because what they were up against were probably the toughest thing of the Tau army you have.
My commander's.
Your commander's
He's not particularly good at combat, but he doesn't suck at it.
No, but he's resilient to it, and he's got a lot of, he's quite strong toughness, he's got a few wounds, and he's hard to whittle down. Mm-hmm. So they did it in the end, they killed him off. So I'm quite happy with that. So I think the Orcs were okay. They didn't really get up the board. I really wish that Stomper had performed a bit better. I was kind of hoping that it had just smashed its way through the entire Tau army, but it didn't. It didn't even get a chance to use its big D chopper doom arm thing. But, it's one of them things. It was a fun list I brought, and I was not expecting to win against Tau. I just thought, I'm going to have a laugh, and that's kind of what I did. What performed well for you, John?
I'm a big fan of the commander and his crisis suit. The warlord trait that I had meant that he wouldn't scatter when he came in from deep strike. And I used that fairly recently at the Last Chance Open, and I know that's very, very effective. But able to drop a bunch of plasma rounds, bang on target without any fear of losing that squad is absolute gold.
Was that the one you had against me and my Space Wolves when you beat me, which I've still not got over?
In that case, I used it twice at the LCO then, because there was another game I was thinking of where I dropped him right into the middle of a building because there's just no danger from scattering. It's awesome. So yeah, that was a great unit, really, really handy. What else? The Riptide is good again. Bit of a shame he got dragged down in combat. He's a bit too flimsy in combat, I think, but probably a bit too resilient to shooting. But hey ho.
Well, you say that, but my battle wagon and my shooter boys took a couple of wounds off him before he went into combat. You did get very
Yes,
unlucky with your dice
I
rolls, and then you feel no
suppose.
pain. But he died. He died to shooter boys.
Yeah, the broadsides were good too, but firing rounds right across the battlefield. The thing that let them down was their positioning. I put them on the one side of the board, and then Richard there flanked denial and completely ignored it, so that kind of didn't help.
Yeah, I nullified them a little bit with my deployment because I was like, hey, you've put them all over the one side, I'm going to deploy on the opposite. And there's massive buildings in the way, so that's always nice. But yeah, that was a good game. Please leave us a comment. Would you like to see a battle report with my 2 Stompers in? Yes or no?
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see that. Would you like to see that? Let us know. Please leave us a like. It does help out the channel. And as always, we will see you guys on the next one.